Okay. So this is my first time using the circle live stream thing. Not sure if it's working the way it's supposed to, but let's go ahead and see how it works. Okay then, so first of all, I'm sorry about the dog. He'll eventually bark here and there. Um, yeah, so what's my goal for today? Let me get things ready over here. So I've been talking about going live and trying to solve some, do some sort of live development while we try to fix some stuff and work on some stuff, but I never do it. So today I decided that I would do it. Yep, so let's sure. I'm sorry about the dog. It's a bit more nervous than your regular dog. Yeah, so here's what we'll do. Let me share my screen here. I hope you can see my screen well. If not, please do let me know. But yeah, so what we'll do is that I'm working on some of the code for Next, and I've run into some trouble, and we'll try to fix that problem now. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at this the chat from time to time, and we will see how things go. Yeah. So first of all, I usually work in sessions. So we'll do a development session here. Let's go for an hour. And our goal today is to make the new implementation of wire work. Cool. So let's get back here. Let's create a new branch here. Fit wire. Wire. Let's go with wire refactor for now. Yep. Okay. Let's go. Yeah, so first, let's go over what are the goals for today's session. Because we need to know where we want to get to. Otherwise, we will get lost. So yeah, so let me create a new file here. Let's name it, let's go with sessions dot to do. Let me enter my much loved Zen mode here. Okay, so first we need to give you a little bit of overview. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand what our plan is. Let me bring this here. And I'll have to keep an eye on how much memory the string takes because, okay, yeah. Let me bring you guys back. Where are you? Have I accidentally closed the stream? No, yeah. Okay, so what we'll do here is let's get over what we're trying to do. I'm using the right account here. So yeah, so to explain, today we are going to work on a library that I'm developing for WP Ultimo called Wire. That's not actually how it will probably, the final name probably. But the idea here is quite simple. It's not simple, it's very complex. But yeah, so let me give you an overview. So the way we're using Wire now is to deal with connect. So we have connect. Yep. And the way connect works is by connecting. We have our multi-site install here. And we have a single install one. And we have here subsite one, subsite two, as you would expect on a multi-site install. Okay, cool. So the way it usually works is that you have a bidirectional connection between the multi-site install and the subsites, okay? And that can be done because all of this block here, all of this shares the same database, okay? So it shares the same database, PHP environments. So that means that we can use our regular WordPress functions to interact between the different sites inside a multi-site install. This is one of the big advantages of having a multi-site installation in the first place, because we can do stuff like running something like get sites, for example, or get users. For all WordPress functions, they are running on the same WordPress install. They have access to the same database. They will work on subsite 1 and on subsite 2, and it all works. The challenge is we are introducing a new block here, and we want to have a external install behave as if it was part of the multi-site install. For that to work, we need to come up with a bridge that allows us to maintain this communication. Correct? Yeah. So this is what connect basically is. This bridge over here is connect. The challenge, however, is we don't want to rewrite all of the WordPress native functions to make this connection work, because that would mean that every time that we wanted to add support to a new plugin, like WooCommerce and other plugins in the WordPress ecosystem, we basically would need to re-implement all of the native functions. So what I'm doing right now is that I am creating a library, which is this, let me get rid of this library over here that I'm calling wire. A bridge library. I'm a bit nervous, that's why you'll see a lot of typos today. A bridge library that allows us to swap the connectivity layer that sits below native WordPress function calls. Okay, so that might sound like Greek, but it's not. It makes, I hope I'll be able to make that make sense for you, because the issue is the following. We want this site here, let me change its color. We want this site here basically to appear here as if it was a subsite, a native, fully native subsite, okay? In order for that to be possible, we need pretty much to, whenever the multi-site install issues some sort of change that affects the subsites, it needs to affect the single site as well, and vice versa. So whenever the single site changes something inside itself, those changes, if it affects other sites, or the multi-site install, we need to send some sort of message back to the multi-site install so it can see that something has changed. And we want to do all of that using the same functions that we would normally use. So when I say that the goal of Connect is to allow you to use a single install as if it was a subsite install, that's pretty much the goal. So that's the what we're trying to achieve here. The way we do this is that WordPress is very customizable, of course. We all know that. So all of these functions here, they are filterable. Functions. This means that as a developer, I can intercept whenever a call is made to one of these functions and redirect the function to a different place, and vice versa. So what we want to do here, for example, is that let's say that here we have a admin user Arindo with the email Arindo at wpultimo.com. This user here, it will also exist on the multi-site install. So if we bring this up and this here and push this up a little bit, we will have the same user here. And we want the admin user of the subsite, the source of truth for that user needs to be the version of the user that sits on the multi-site install. So we need, for example, if this user here decides to, don't know how to do, yep. If this user, for example, decides to change the display name from Arindo to a Duke, we need to capture this request and send it all the way back here. Okay. And in some measure, this is already implemented. So here I have this working repo here. I have two WordPress installs here. One, it's called Connect WP, which is the network installation, and I have a external WP, which is a external WordPress installation. So if we go to connect WP.test and we go to WP admin here, let's go to admin. You see that I have, let's go to sites. Where is sites? No. That's not what I want. I want to go network admin sites. You'll see that I have this subsite here called external. This site here, there's no indication now, but it is connected to this other site here, external WP.test. So if I go to WP admin over here, let's see if I'm able to log in. Yeah, so this is the problem that I'm having right now because I broke wire. So this used to work. Let me see if I can revert back to a different branch where it was working, so I can give you a quick demo. Wire factor, orchard. Yeah, that probably got buried. Anyway, we'll make it work again. But basically, let me get rid of this here, and we should be able to see that they are not really connected anymore. Let's refresh it here. Still the same thing. Local query, my line 30. Return. Why would you still be? Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is in fact still connected because let me show you something here. So if we move those side by side, you'll see that it is using the same color scheme here, and we have the same custom post types registered here. But if I completely remove the connection, which, if I'm not mistaken, it's here. So let me take it down. So here, filter user meta and register other user meta, register user blogs. So all of those, let's get down here. Let's get rid of all of those here. And I refresh it here, you can see that this user is using a completely different color scheme. It's using midnight, while this one, it's using the modern. And there are other differences as well. So just so we can see a comparison side by side, let me rearrange the windows here. So open this, let me open this down here. So different color schemes, different things, but since I already got it working for the user model, if I bring those back and I refresh my window here, you'll see that it goes back to the modern thing, and it would add the My Sites menu over here as well. It isn't right now because wire broke and we need to fix it. That being said, it is applying to other aspects as well. So for example, let me disconnect them again. And if I refresh it here, so I could, for example, bring the welcome thing back and refresh. As soon as I connect them again and I refresh, it goes away, goes back, because it is pulling the settings from a different place. It is syncing the settings between the different installs. In fact, I even think that it should be able to save the status of the widgets themselves. So let's try that just to see if I'm dreaming or not. So made a change over here. Yeah, I think those are saved on a site per site basis. I'm not sure. Again, it wouldn't be really hard to make that, but let's say I get rid of them all, and then I refresh it here. Yeah, I think that those get saved on a site option, not on user meta. That might be it. And in any case, what we want to do has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with that. But what we actually want to do is to bring back the My Sites menu that used to show up here. And to do that, we need to get Wire back to work. So what I'll do is that I'll put this here. And I'll bring my... So I'll do something that I'll probably regret. But I have my debugger here, and I'll make it public. So it's a public URL. If you could not access I'm pretty sure I'm not leaking any info here, but it would be best not to. Yeah, there isn't really a good way to protect it right now. So let's just go with it. So I only have 38 minutes to get this to work. So let's get back here. So this is the custom class, the custom hook that adds the My Sites menu to external sites. And in order for that to work, we need to get the site model to work. And for the site model to work, we need to get wire back to a working state using the new implementation. As soon as I allow wire to run and save it, you'll see that we get an error. And what this error says, I'll try to, let me collapse this before we get back to debugging. Just so it can get saved. Cool. Let's begin. Okay, so no query handler found for object type sites. So the way wire works, let me enter Zen mode here. The way wire works right now, it used to work in a different way. Let me, just so we can have some control over here, get the My Sites menu, admin bar menu back to a working state. Let's install, add a query handler for the site object for the new wire implementation. Let's go with that. Cool. Pin this, pin this. Let's get started. So the first thing here, and this code is a bit messy. We will do some cleaning up later. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to add a, yeah, but the thing is we're not using these repositories anymore. So maybe that was my error. Because we used to have a repository class that would pretty much list the API endpoints to get the results. And maybe that's the right approach. Because right now what I have going is a ad hoc solution that I had in place to validate the idea. So it's this no. It's this local query connection here. So here. So basically it is trying to find a sites handler, but we don't have a sites handler. Right now we just have users, posts, and roles. And maybe let's get started by implementing a demo, a test site handler over here. That way we can at least get the ball rolling. So let's do that. We will add a sites handler, and we're gonna call it sites handler class. We don't have a. Let's duplicate one of these here. Let's duplicate the posts. Let's duplicate this. Yeah. Rename it to site handler. But I'd say site handler or sites handler. Site handler. Cool. Open this up. Save it. With that change alone, we should no longer see this error over here, but we should see a completely different error. That's to be expected. And to be honest, I think that the reason for that is it's probably because we are not sending the XWP total header back, because otherwise it should probably work. Let me check what the endpoint is. It's next v1 sites. If we get that, maybe we should get some more useful responses over here, because I think that when we get a 404, which is probably what we're getting here, we don't throw the error message itself. Let's see if I can change that. Actually, we should be able to see it in the debugger, because query results, let's go all the way to the top. Users. Yeah, let me clear this and try again. Users, I'm not sure what's going on here. So query results, we're still calling the user endpoint. Site handler. Next. Let's take a look. Let's use a proper debugger. Let me bring you back to full screen. Let's turn on the debugger. Turn on the debugger. And let's go through it step by step. Wrong debugger. Let's try again. No, not interested. User handler not interested, not interested, not interested. Okay, so now we are at the right place. Let's see what we have inside our query. We want sites where ID equals 5. Okay, so, oh yeah, yeah. So this is already special case. Yeah, it is a special case, but we are trying to deal it. The reason why we're refactoring this is to make it generic. So we should be able to get it work regardless of this. So if we want the column ID and the operator is a equals, we include it to the include and where value. Okay, so yeah, so we did add it to query subtype. It doesn't matter for us. Type singular rest base. Oh yeah, so this here, this doesn't make sense. This is only here because I copied it over from the other thing. So let's try again. That this time we will reach the correct endpoint, I think. But I messed things up before we could get there. So let's set different breakpoints here. I'm mostly interested in the results. Let's see what that brings to us. Okay, same thing. We have an ID and we fetch the results. What are the results? Okay, yeah, so we got a 200, which is always a good sign. But I need to see what the results JSON are. This decoded. Yep. So I know what's going on. This time we got all 5 sites back from the API. And the reason why that is happening is simply because I don't think we've added a include parameter to the site's endpoint. So that's probably the next thing that we need to do. How can we do it? I need to figure out where that thing is buried. No, not here. As I mentioned, the code base is a bit disorganized at the moment. So let's search it by the actual namespace and thing. Site repository. Yep. Is that it? So we have a bunch of test routes here. I don't think it's here. I think I used whenever we're dealing with WordPress natively. So basically every single library here has 2 layers. We have the Laravel based layer, and I'm trying to keep the WordPress layer separate. That way we can do a bunch of different stuff. First and foremost, we can think of the WordPress layer as a adapter layer, mostly. So in the future, if we want to add support to even like different CMSs, So to be able to manage and link CMSs other than WordPress to the same panel or different applications, for example, a Laravel application. If we do things that way in a very decoupled way between Laravel and WordPress, it's easy to do that, especially if we adhere to the idea of having strong types and interfaces. That being said, yeah, I am using, yeah, cool. So this here is basically where we want to add support to include parameter, because over here we are pretty much getting all sites. Yeah, but this one is deactivated. So it's this one over here, sites controller, okay. Namespace, register REST route, get permissions. We would, we would need to add a argument, a supported argument here. And we want to go with include type array, items, integer, default. Let's go with default new instead. Is that supported? Because we're defining, maybe we can, I'm not sure. Let's check that real quickly. JSON schema, nullable. Specifically allowed. No. Type null. So null is very strict. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's no reason for adding that, because it isn't required unless I declare them as required. So simply adding it here should do the trick. Let me check here if the name of the argument is include or includes. It's include. Cool. Yeah, so now we have an argument called include, and we have a get site, and we have a get items. Correct? Correct. So here, right now, it isn't receiving any arguments, the query for sites. And what we'll do is that we need build, it's a query arguments array based on the request received. Args, let's make it an array. And the first thing we wanna, I don't remember, it's okay, yeah, it's request include. Let's make it, yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure if get sites has a include. I think it's called site in. Yeah, we'll have to check. Yeah, site in, network in. There isn't a include, right? Nah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's site in. Yep. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So here we want this to. Yeah, we can do site underscore in, and we fetch the value from the request or new. And before we pass the value down, we want to do a array filter. That way we can remove new fields from the arguments. Cool. So by doing that, we effectively added support to a include field to our site's custom API endpoint. And the other problem that we're having is that I'm not sending back the proper WordPress hooks over here. So that's something that we need to do, because without those, we won't be able to handle pagination correctly on the front end, on the front end, on the back end, pretty much everywhere. So let's go back there. Return enrich sites, get items. I don't remember the proper way to deal with REST API responses. I think I need to instantiate a WP response object. I'm not sure. Well, let's see how this guy do it. It basically returns the value. I'm pretty sure that the WordPress REST API has a auto wrapper, something like that. It's a function called something like ensure REST response. Yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah, so there's something else that I need to check as well. Let me add to my doc here. Things to check. Check the default WordPress REST API envelope function. Envelope helper for the endpoints. I want to see if that maybe has some potential. Some of the things that we are implementing. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that whenever HTTP response, it doesn't provide. Okay, yeah. REST response, it's what we need. Cool, so I'm guessing that if I create a response myself, I should be able to add the headers. I could search on core to see how core does it. Right. So let's see, WordPress WordPress. Let's go to the repo. Okay, so let's find out an example of a place where WordPress adds the header that we want to add. That's WP total. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it does it. It does it in the most WordPressy way possible. It doesn't have a helper. It just sends the headers. So yeah, I'm guessing that's what I'll do. Don't like that approach pretty much, but if Core is doing, I guess we'll do it as well. Yep. And I think that we will probably need to send a call here as well, just to make sure. Count, whether to return a site count or array of site objects. I want to know query the disable defaults to true. So this is the problem here. Yeah, we need to enable this. We need to set this to true on the request. And yeah, for now that will do. Let's not worry too much about the particulars at this point. Yeah, so we need to include this, set it to false. And by doing that, I'm not sure what changes in terms of the response we get. We'll have to try and see. So let me refresh this. Yeah, I actually don't get the result of the query here. Let's go back to the debugger. Yeah, I have to configure this. It's not opening the right debugger right away. And there's a bunch of debuggers here. Add configuration, listen for I don't need you, and I don't need you. Let's see if that does the trick. It's still not the right debugger. Okay, fine. I'll do it manually. Okay, let me get rid of you. Yep, let's try that out and see if we get any changes in the request. So the arguments are here. We added include arguments. We sent the request, we got the request, and now we want to see what's inside the request. Decoded. We only have one site now, but I don't see the number of the total. ID. Oh yeah, so there's another issue here because I'm not actually returning the response. I'm returning a modified version of the response. And that's not what we want. And plus I'm doing some caching here as well. So I guess the most useful thing we can do right now is to dump the sites and see what are the results of this. Bring the debugger. Where are you? Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let me clear and send it. Okay. Okay, so we get a WP site object registered. No calc. So how am I supposed to get back the total number of sites? I need to make two separate calls? Doesn't seem right to me. Get sites. Calc found rows query default true. No calc. Okay. I'm guessing WordPress will cache this and get me the results. Yeah, I guess I'll have to do 2-second calls, and I think WordPress should handle caching automatically, because over here I'm not passing any number arguments, so I'm not okay. Yeah, let's do this the dirty way and then we can fix it later. We'll pass a number here. We should pass it anyway, by the way. I'm not sure how I'll name this yet. I have to check how the other endpoints name things. We'll pass a 1 as a number. That way we are only fetching the additional data for one site. And that way we can get the count. Let me think a bit more about this. Yeah, let's not think about it. Let's do it the proper way. We'll do a limit. Limit is going to be request limit, otherwise 10. And we have args. I think that the default is 15. Then first we need first comma. We need to get the total number of rows. So we can send a XX WP photo header with the number of rows. That header is required for pagination purposes or purposes. How do you spell purposes? Purposes. Okay. Yeah, and the thing is, if yeah, we can optimize this later. Let's just do things the dirty way for now. So yeah, so we don't want to pass this over here, and we don't want to pass this over here. What we want to do is to first do a total sites. This total sites, it's get sites, and we will send the same arguments. Yeah, since we args, let's clean this up here. Filter args. And here we can just use args. And here we want to pass a number parameter of 1. And we want to send count equals true. Let's name this to total site count. Yep. Let's see what we get when we do that. Let's go back here. So we're kind of running out of time, and I wanted to get this to working state. So yeah, so we get 1. That's the expected result. And maybe I think I should pass this over here. Down here, we don't want to have this anymore. And I'll go ahead and add another half an hour here, just so we can keep the flow. Now we'll send the same function call, but without the count parameter, right? No, okay, yeah. Here we're looping the sites, and down here we can set the headers WordPress expects. So set the pagination headers as WordPress core does to other endpoints. Nah, that's not what we want. So let's go with header. X total, it's the total site count. And we have to calculate the pages, but I'm not sure if this is the name of the, yeah, XWP total pages. It's the total site count divided by the number of pages that we have, the number of items per page. Here, we can move this from here to down here to down here. And we can basically wrap this and make it part of the limit. And then we can, that would mean that we would need to clean this up again. If we get a invalid limit value. Yeah, let's roll this back, limits. And what we do is if limits, then we add it to and it is a different parameter name, so we would need to do that anyway. If we have a limit value set in the request, we add it to the query arguments array. This looks more or less good to me, and it should get us over this error here. This error here. Let's try that out. Yeah, it does. And here we have a My Sites menu with the sites from the network, even though this is an external site. That's great. That's truly great. We got it back to a working state. So this concludes this function, this task here. Let me commit that. I don't remember the. Fuck. So let's review it manually, like the ancient people did. So I made a change to the debugger. Not sure if I want to push that just yet. Meaningless change. Meaningless change. Plugin. Yeah, so here we are adding and handling the limits in headers. Let's add that. And here we added the site handler. Cool. And I'll add this as well. Or maybe I should keep it in the ignore file. Let's see. Get ignore. Yep, let's edit sessions. What to do? Yep. And my sites menu, I didn't do any changes here. So it's all cool. Yep. Yeah. That looks good to me. No, yeah, there wasn't a change here. Okay, yeah. So let's do a get GCEM. Oh, yeah, commit. What is happening? Feet wire pagination add pagination support to the custom sites REST endpoints. The custom sites REST endpoint that we had added to serve cached performance info about network sites, missed pagination support. This commit adds the include argument to the readable endpoint, as well as send as the ability to send back the XWP total and XWP total pages headers used by wire to paginate the results. These changes made possible to return the custom my sites menu admin bar icon, admin bar item added by the connect client plugin back to a working state. That should do it. GP sub. Oh, yeah. So we still have 19 minutes to go. But just so we go over what we've done here. So let me bring that other window back. So yeah, so here we have our host network. Let me make those. And here we have an external site that is connected to this network. If I go to plugins and deactivate the connect plugin, you see that we lose the My Sites menu over here, and we roll back to the old styles. So we roll back to the old settings, the settings that were locally saved to my user on this install. As soon as I go back and activate Connect again, we get the My Sites menu, which is, I think the only thing that we're missing here is the fav icon here. So if we go here, yeah, so this company AI has a fav icon. We are not being able to pull the fav icon here, but otherwise the sites have been pulled. And let me try something else. So this site here is called external site, right? Yeah. So let me go to sites, sites. Let's go to external settings. The title here is placeholder external. Let me try to change this to something else. So literally something else. Yeah, we change it here. Here it's still called external site. Let's see if that made any difference. It didn't. This also used to work on the old implementation of Wire. So let me take a look real quickly here to see if we're able to spot why it isn't working. So external site syncing features, changing the site title on the network has no effect on the external site. Let's see. So if I'm not mistaken, this is also being added either here, maybe on the wire service provider. Let's take a look. So I'm not even sure if I added a filter for that right anymore. So here's the register user. I'm sorry. Register user blogs, cache for client sites. Yeah, that I don't think I made that change yet. But that's weird because I have a clear memory of changing the site name, propagating. But it's definitely working for subsites. So let's give it, just so we give it another go. So here I have the main network, okay? Connect WP.test, and here I have an external site, which is a single site install, as I showed you here. So we have the Connect WP. It is a WordPress multi-site install. And we have external WP, which is a single site install. Bring those both back. If we go here to plugins and deactivate Connect, we roll back to a single install state, let's say. And we don't have the My Sites menu, and the color scheme changed, everything working as expected. as soon as I activate the plugin back, we get the My Sites menu, the color scheme. Let's see if I change the color scheme over here on the main network to this and save it. If I refresh the page here, yep. Okay, so I think I might have. I thought I had synced the site settings as well, but I didn't yet. Okay. The live stream is blurry. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing the message now. I hope you guys were able to see something. Not sure if it was my connection or not. Can you see the screen more or less? Is it readable? Let me know. So connect as soon as I get the wire working. I should be able to release it. I'm trying my best to do this as quickly as possible because let me open a terminal window here. So we have most of the work is done. Let me bring back my deep focus. And yeah, so I'll zoom here a little bit. Please let me know if you can see the screen more or less. So if we navigate to connect WP here, this is the WordPress install, the network install. And now that I have fixed wire, we should probably be able to run the command to list the servers again. So WP Aurora site list. No, that's not it. It's server list. Server list. Type error. With cookies, domain must be of type string new given. Yeah, Sam. This is gonna be recorded. I'll do this. Not sure. I'm a bit weary of making promises at this stage, but I think it's a good way to do stuff because it helps me keep focused at a single task at hand, and at the same time we were able to establish some sort of like closer connection. But yeah, it is recorded, and I think it becomes available as soon as I finish the live stream. But yeah, so this command here, it should be working because we fixed the problem that was happening here. But apparently not, because the argument domain is must be of type string, and it is getting a new. So let's take a quick look at that to see if we can get that sorted in these last 10 minutes. What was the line? 166. Transport, that's not the actual line. With cookies, local query connection, yeah, it's 147. Let me bring those back to their places. Zemode 147. Domain is not. Yeah, let's see what are we getting here as a domain. as it should, we should be able to, uh, it should be able to give us the right value, right? Because it works in the web context. So I'm not sure why it wouldn't. So it is a valid domain. Yeah, but I have to try it on the terminal because it's a different environment. Let's see. Okay, let's take a look at the command. It's list sites, list servers. And it is this one over here. Fetching server all. Ah, okay, yeah. I know what's going on. The issue here is that this server is a different model altogether, and it might not be, we might not be ending up at the same location. So that's also something that we need to fix. Yeah, let me maybe keep this. Not sure. Let's see the post handler. Yeah, we where am I creating the transports? Where is this coming from? Who's instantiating this? Let's take a look at the server model class. Oh, yeah, okay. So here the connection needs to be changed to wire. That should do it. That should do it, I guess. Let's see how that goes. Servers. Okay, yeah. So the thing we're missing now is that we're not mapping the things, the fields. And that's something that I'll actually have to implement in Wire as well. So it might be something interesting to do for a different recording. Let me check because I still have 5 minutes. Let's see if we can get that to a working state. Probably not, because this is a bit more complex. So here we have this connection here called local query connection. This name is not good. It needs to change because this connection is actually a how do you say it? It is a generic connection. This is the connection that we are gonna use and swap the transport layer underneath it. If we are doing something local versus doing something remotely, so talking with an external site, for example. That being said, on the old way that Wire used to work. So if I bring back the old connection class here, yeah, this one. I used a custom processor. Let me check. So this here. And what's a processor? A processor, it hooks into the results of a carry, and it makes changes to the objects before it gets handed over to the model layer. So what we need to do most likely is that we need to add a custom processor here as well. I'm not sure if it's, yeah, this will probably work. Let's see. Process insert. Yeah, we need this, but we also need a process select. Yeah, this is the one that we need to handle, because for servers, for example, right now, what we're doing is that we are using a very rudimentary implementation of what the types module for Next will be. So if we go to the main site here, dashboard, and go to server, this is a custom post type, and it is what we're using to save our servers. And the way we're doing that at the moment is that I'm basically serializing the values and saving that as the content of the post, which is actually how WordPress saves block templates and a lot of stuff these days. Customizer change sets, it's all saved in the same manner. And this is more or less the way the types will work. We will use meta fields as well, but this here is a good compromise between having a meta data table that balloons in size and storing data in a efficient way. The bad thing about doing this way is that it makes it it's hard to search. But even if we're not like encrypting things, which I'm in favor of encrypting fields on a field by field basis, not the entire payload. Here, for example, we have a public key that it's used to connect to the server, to the remote server. And we have the private key here as well. And they're both encrypted. And then encoded with base 64. But that way it is secure to store. But like there isn't really a good reason why we shouldn't encrypt something like the IP address, for example. But yeah, so this here, what you see here is actually the same data that we get when we run this here. So just to prove my point, if I go here and I maybe delete all items, let's get this to 100, and let's move all of them to the trash. We'll add another 15 minutes just so I can finish up this example here. Move to trash. Now, all items are in the trash. If we run this again, we don't have any entries at all. Yeah, so what we need to do now, and this is another portion of the wire package, is to map the fields from a non-orthodox storage strategy like this one that I just showed you, to a way that our model can understand, and that we have names of fields that actually make sense for a table like this, for example. So if we go to our server model here, you should see that we have fields such as these here. So we have a label, IP address, provider, status, external ID, all of that. But we need to extract those fields and populate them in a way that makes sense. And the way that I'm doing this at the moment is that I'm leveraging the Laravel migration system to create a cache of the mapping of the fields for posts. So that sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So if we go to, I think we have a migration for server tables. Let me see if we do. And if we do not, I might do that right now. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's go with WP Aurora, make migration. And let's go with create server table. We'll get a migration such as this one. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to say that this is using a wire connection. As soon as we tell it that it is using a wire connection, it knows that instead of trying to create a table per se, it needs to create a new file inside our resources blueprints. So here I have one for users and one for notifications. If I run WP Aurora migrate, we should get one for servers. And here I detect, for example, if we have a field that is ID with lowercase ID, and it is an auto increment field, I immediately say that we need to map that to ID capital. What that means is that when we get a request back, results back from the API, our processor needs to map the lowercase ID field to the uppercase ID field. The same for created at, and for updated at, marking it as ignore here, but that's a fluke. We actually want to map that. In the case of, yeah, we're missing some stuff here. The first thing that we need to, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that, yeah, so let me try something here. Posts, we need to prefix this with posts. And that will tell you that we have a type and a subtype, and that we want to save this as a post-based type. And now I'll have to migrate again. I don't recall what's the syntax for that. WP Aurora help migrates. And these here they are all development commands. You won't need to do this kind of stuff. Pretend path path to the migration. Start. Okay, yeah. So we want to do great. Oh, we have a fresh, migrate fresh. I think. Let me check. Otherwise, I'll destroy my install here. Help migrate fresh. Path. Drop all tables and rerun all migrations. Cool. So we want to do migrate fresh and pass the path to our file. That's it. Oh, yeah. So we have a problem. Let me delete the migration manually here. The issue is that we have to come up with a way to rename the path parameter, because there are some commands that use path, but WP CLI uses path as well. Let me add it here. Let's do development CLI. Path parameters intended to auto commands are used by WP CLI instead. Yeah, so let me delete here the migration. We should see it here, create server. The name is wrong. It should be create servers. Create the servers table. And yeah, so if we do post server, it should be able to detect that we want a subpost. We want a type of post. Let's see. Let me do something bad here. Let's go with, by the end here, I'll throw, just so we don't save it to the database as a successful migration. Migrate. Only arrays are and traversables can be unpacked. Available for, okay. It's probably returning new. Let's see. Available for, here we want available for an empty array. Yeah, so we're probably getting something else here. Let's see what that is. What is happening? Oh, yeah. I'm dumping the thing to here. So only traversables, type posts, subtype servers, fields are new, query results. So where is it? 92 on the blueprint file. Where is it? Where is it? Is this here? Available for. So a column definition is not a traversable? That doesn't does does not sound right to me. Column available for. Yeah, this doesn't need to be a function call. It can be a check first. Run again, and this time we'll get new. Yeah, that's the right answer. Yep. Let's get rid of this and run the command again. Okay, yep. And let's see the results on the blueprints. We have updated at, created at, yeah, we're probably looking at the wrong file. Maps 2 available for server. Yeah, so we are pretty much we're placing all the post-based things at the same place. And that's not what we want to do. If there is a subtype, we need to say that as the subtype instead of saving it as the main type. Okay. So yeah, so here what we actually want to do is to do load subtype, and if that is no, we load the type. And the same here. Another thing that we need to do here is that we don't want to merge. We don't want to simply merge. We actually want to merge, but make sure that fields are unique. So we actually need to compare fields by name, I'm guessing. Yeah, we can do that at a later stage. For now, I'll overwrite wherever is there with the new generated values. Yeah, so we have a server. Posts. Yeah, it should not be singular. Should be plural. Let's go back to the migration. Servers. Migrate. Now we should have a servers file. Maps to ID. Okay, that's the right answer. Let me delete this file over here. And yeah, let's go the full hour, and hopefully we'll get closer to a proper answer by the end of this. Yeah, so now what we want to do actually is the blueprint, it makes some assumptions because we are not checking by type, we're only checking by column name. And that's not good. We need to check by type. I'm sorry. So these here all work for when we're dealing with a user type, but not for a post type. Correct? Yep. So what we probably need to do is available for yeah, so now that we have a separate file, we don't need this anymore. And now for each column, let's do it the ugly way, then we can make it prettier later. We have different automatic field mappings depending on the type. Yeah, let's go with the Copilot here. So if we know that this table is type is a user-based type, users, if type is users, then we can do this thing that we were doing back here, down here. Now, we want to deal with the case where our table type is a posts-based table type. And for that case, we have different different fields. Although, yeah, although that they do share some stuff. So yeah, let's move whatever is. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if that's worth it because it's so little. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's handle each case separately. So let's do the basic field mapping. So in the case we're dealing with posts, let me blah, 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 blah. The ID maps is still maps to ID. We don't have a field name. Yeah, for post-based fields, it's a bit more simple, I guess. Yeah, so let's do that. So when you want to map the ID, no, and the updated acts, if I'm not mistaken, those are called post date and post modified, yeah. That's not the name that we get back from the API, I think. Let me check. WordPress, REST API, post endpoint. We might need to allow for different mappings based on based on the thing. Meta fields, sticky. So we don't get a modified field definition. Schema date, is it on? Yeah, modified. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so as long as the name is the same, we can simply strip the post portion of it and it should work. Okay. Username. Yeah. Everything else we will mark as is JSON, is JSON content. Right? I still think I'm missing something here. Slug link. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go with it and see how it goes. What we can do actually is that we can create like preemptive mappings as well, because those can be useful. So we can do stuff like title maps to post title, but name also maps to post title, post title, label maybe, because label I know would cover the server case. And then content, yeah, let's go with it. Yeah, it should do for now. Yeah, okay. Okay. So next step, we need to go back to our processor, and we need to here, inside here, for each result of a given type, we need to map the fields to the mapping we are expecting to get. Right? So the first thing we need is that we need a blueprint. Let's call it via a get type blueprint. And we can pass type. Let me do something here. We have a builder query and we have the results. Results over here, they're gonna be the array, right? Yeah, I guess it would depend. Let's do a dump and see. Query and results. Let's see what we get. We're not getting to this point. Handler. Oh yeah. That's not what I want to run. I want to run the spare list command. Yeah. So we get a builder and 0 results because, of course, I moved all the posts to the trash. Builder. Cool. I'll do things not the most optimal way here, just so we can validate the process. But what we want to do first is that we want to extract the type. Yeah. Where's that? Compile from. Yeah, so the first thing I want is this. Let's copy that out. We want to compile that from the query from value. That should give us the type and subtype tuple subtype. Let's see if that's the case or not as we run the command again. Yeah, type posts, subtype servers. That's the correct answer. What we'll do now is, now that we have the type, we can fetch the blueprint, right? So blueprint file name equals, yep, that's perfect, my dear friend. I'm not sure why Copilot is not pulling the right data here. But yeah, so then we want to get the blueprint file name. Let's give it another go. Posts.php. No, we want the same logic. So subtype, if we don't have a subtype, only if we don't have a subtype, we try to get the type. So now we should have a servers PHP. Cool, that's exactly what we want. Now, since we already have some helper functions over here, it might be useful for us to use this load here, this load function here. So let's add a public static. Let's now this is the final block, I swear. Public static function make. Let's call it make. I want a string. Yeah, let's go string with name. What do you need, my friend? You need a table, a callback, and a prefix. Okay. So make table, and we want to return a new static And let's pass a function just so you don't get sad. That works. And then with the table name, I can return the contents because I get this as a existing map. So a public function get maps. This don't really like this name, but let's go with that for now. And we want to return the existing map. Let's do something here. You're gonna return a static, and here you're gonna return yourself. That way we can do load. Right. Okay. Yeah. With that in hand, we don't need this anymore. We can do map equals app. Let's make a blueprint. Make blueprints. Yep, class. And we want the parameter. Yeah, we just need table. And again, we want a subtype or subtype or type if subtype doesn't exist. And we want to call get map or mappings. Get mappings. Let's see what we get back from that. Here's the output here. And again, get mappings does not exist. So I was trolled by, get maps, get mappings. Get mappings. Clear. Let's run again. Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Yeah, so I don't get anything actually. Columns, this is a builder. This processor line 30. Map blueprint class. Yeah, let me just. No, I'm doing it wrong. It's blueprint make. Yeah, subtype. This is usually a sign that I need a pause. Let's as soon as this timer is over, I'll end this up. Yeah, so now we have access to our map. Yeah. Okay. That should already make a difference, I guess. No, because I'm not doing anything with maps. So now that we have access to the maps and we have access to the results, we can start to manipulate the results in a way that it matches our mapping. So let me restore a couple of things here. So 14th, 20th, 20th. Yeah, let's restore you. Yeah, one should do. Then we will get one response here somewhere. Yep, I need to run it over here. Yeah, I'm not getting a response. Why is that? Restart didn't work. Why I'm not getting any response? Oh. Okay, it's a draft. Let's publish this bad boy. And now we should get a response. And we should see a server here. So yeah, so now we have a server, and now we can start to do things with the mapping. So let's, just so we have a reference, we want to dump here our results, and our map. With those two informations in hand, we will be able to do anything we want to do. So here we have our item, and we have the contents saved as raw content here. Okay, so okay, so now we can go to our server migration, and we can start to customize our mapping here, right? Yeah. So we want to, so we have a status, which is already mapped. We have a title field. Yeah, so what we want to do is to do a table, and then we can do something like a string label maps to title dot, let's go with raw. Then we can go with table. And is there any other field that is saved here? No. Yeah. So all the other fields are saved, serialized inside the content. So what I'll do is, what we'll do is, let's go with the IP address, for example. Let me check here real quickly how we're doing. So the field is called IP underline address. Cool. So what we'll do is that we will do a string. We have a IP field. We do. Cool. That's cool. So IP address, IP maps to content dot raw maps Okay. Okay. Yeah, so let's do a map to JSON. Content dot raw dot, yeah, let's do key address. So let's go with these two first. So now I need to run my migration again. And let's check the results of the migration servers blueprints. So we have the IP address here. Is JSON content? It's true. Content.raw maps to JSON key. Yep. It should probably be nullable. I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter for our purposes at this point. So now we can start mapping. Let's do that. Here we have I'll run the command to list again. As you can see here, we don't get anything for label or for IP address. We will do the mapping now. So here we have the result that we got. And here we have the mappings. So now what we'll do is that we will start to process the mappings. All right. Cool. So let's do that. Now let's process the defined maps for each result. It allows us to hand over the models to the Laravel eloquent layer of the application in a way that it can understand and matches the rest of the model logic. Abstracting away the complexities of using the WordPress custom post type layer as a database. Oh, let's do a collect map. Let's rename this to mappings just so we keep it consistent. So collect mappings. Yeah, no, just keep going. I'm sorry. Let's do model and open array. Let's do collect model each. And yep, this is basically what we want, but we don't want this. Or maybe we sure what's the best approach here. Let's go with a map with keys instead of a map. A map with keys. But then we can do no. We actually want to do this for every single result. Let's go with the for each. Result as result. We don't need the blueprints. And this here needs to be passed as a reference. Yep. So now that we're inside, for each, maybe here we can go with a collection just to make things simpler on our end. So for each mapping, no. Okay, so the first thing that we need to check is if a mapping exists as is. So first thing we check is if a field map exists with the same name. If that's the case, we simply return it. Here it's not a niche, it's a map with keys. So we have a result in hands and we have our mapping in hand. And our mapping has a key, but we are not gonna use this key. Yep, so let's process it. Yeah, I'm not, I don't think I'll do this probably in a single go. Not sure. Let's do decoded values. Make you an array. First thing we need is the name. And this is the mapping name. Mapping name, okay. So what we do is value. The first thing we check is if a field map exists with the same name. If that's the case, we simply return it. We simply return it. Okay, yeah, so let's do that. Value is result, name, or new. Okay? Okay. If we don't have a value, or the value is null. That's a good question. How do we deal with null values? Yeah, I think, but it would also cause issues. Yeah, so what I'll do is that I'll create a random value that we can use as a value to check for values that we don't find. Okay, so let's go with let's do a static value not found. Value not found. Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's make a quick helper here. Protected a function not found, value. Cool. You always return bool. Okay, yeah. So, so we will try to get a value. If we don't have a value, static value not found. This is probably dumb. This is probably not the best way to do this, but let's go ahead. If we don't have a value, if a direct match is not successful, we check for the value passed via the maps to parameter. Okay. So if not found value equals to result mapping maps to, this might not be set. So yeah, I pass is new a offset, a valid offset. Let's go with an empty string, even though it's a bit risky. Okay, if it's not found, value equals to the value we actually mapped it to. So if in the response we have a field called ID, capital, we map it back to ID. Okay, cool. If we still don't have found a match, haven't found a match, we check if the field has a JSON map. And we'll deal with this case here where a maps to JSON is present. How do we do that? In the following way. We have this here, the coded values. We will pull this in to make it available. And that way we don't have to decode the JSON payload time and time again. So if that's the case, we decode the JSON and return the value. So JSON, raw JSON. Yeah, we need to, yeah, let's do a positive guard, maybe. So, yeah, let's do a positive guard. The way the code is a bit cleaner. Let's do found, and found is we actually can do the lazy way, the least repetitive way. Not found, not found, not found. This we invert. Okay, so instead of doing this, we can do if found. We can return name value. Then we can stop the nesting nightmare over here. And we do the same thing here. There's probably a better way to do this, but for now it will work. So raw JSON, it's this. So we need the result and mapping maps to JSON. That's correct. And let's return a empty array as the raw JSON. And here we don't actually, no. Yeah, we want go empty string or empty array over here. Then we can do decoded JSON. We actually need the field name. Yeah, let's add JSON map. Let's do this, and let's check this as well. So we only want to get to this point if we have a valid JSON map. And here we maybe don't want to return, yeah, we can do this. Raw JSON, yeah, I'm way too invested. This is the final half an hour because I do have to grab lunch. But raw JSON, and here we are mapping. We are, if we get here, we're pretty sure that we have the JSON. So we don't need this. Raw JSON, yeah, let's keep it for like clarity's sake. Let's not use this. Let's use our helper class, which throws better error messages. So JSON decode. And we want to put that back inside the decoded values. I could actually cache it as well. Could I? Yeah, it's best then. Let's keep it in a array. Decoded value. Let's push that to the coded values. Name decoded JSON, and then we can try to return the value. So we can go value equals. Let's grab our array helper. Get decoded JSON. Yeah, all of these, they need to be moved to a array get syntax because we're using dot notation. Yeah, so yeah, we actually need to make a change in that regard. And if we don't have anything left, we can return new mapping. Yeah, return. We can return a name value here. Yeah, there's something wrong here. And I'm aware that we're not we're not checking the cache here. So here, every single time that we're doing this, we need to replace it because we are using dot notation. No, not in this case, but in this case, yeah. So what we'll do is that we get array gets, and we can do results. Results, we get the result, then we try to get the maps2 key of the results. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to pass an empty value here. Well, yeah, let's do it. And that way we can deal with the dot notation cases such as this. Then we actually need to do the same thing here because this won't work. This needs to be the dot notated. And we can actually pretty much do a raw JSON already. So we can jump down here and we can do array get, and then result maps JSON to value not found maps to JSON. Maps to JSON. It should return the raw JSON. The raw JSON. Then we need to check this. And then we check the decoded JSON. We cache it. We try to get our value. And then we return. And by the end, we'll have a list of results that have had their values mapped. The overall shape of this looks good to me. Let's try it out and see how it goes. On the bugs, let's see. So I need to run the command. Oh yeah, my debugger does not work for the CLI. I had to get that working. So we'll have to do it using the debugger here. Let's here. Let's see what are we getting as results and the decoded values. Let's change the order a bit. And then run the command. Syntax error. What's the error? Syntax error. Syntax error in the JSON, right? Raw JSON. Found what are we getting as raw JSON? Value not found. 89. Okay. So found if yeah, here is not found. That's confusing. Oh, no. Not found. This, let's see. Okay, yeah, let's run again. Okay, yeah, so this is our result. We have an ID, we have, why am I not getting the right result? It's because I'm not assigning the result to the right result. Let's try again. Okay, yeah, I think I know what's going on. It needs to be new in here. It needs to be no. No, here it needs to be value. This is confusing. So if we found the value, the value was found, I want to return it. Yeah, so the problem is down here. So if the value was not found, I want to return no, not the other thing. Right? Yep. Results. Let me give it another go. So why is it called IP here? It's not IP. It's IP address. I think I might need to strip slashes out of the JSON code here. Let me add a dump here just so we can check what is inside our raw JSON. Yeah, let's run again. Uh, 93. So we are never getting down here. That's weird. That's weird. And 89. Okay. Okay, so here we have our JSON file, code, whatever. Why are we not able to map it, to decode it? Maybe because it has slashes. So this is 100, yeah. Yep. So let's try something else. Let's do strip slashes just to see if that's the cause, because sometimes it is. Line 89. What do we get as a result? Same 5 items. Here's still like B. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a couple of things wrong here. Actually, it should be working. I'm not even getting a label here. There's something weird going on. Result, use result. We don't want to use you as a reference. Maybe that's it. I don't think so. Nah. Okay, so there's something wrong there. Let's dump the result itself so we can take a closer look. Okay. That's problematic. Results. That's not correct at all. Why am I yeah, I'm not seeing the through thing here. It's what I want is this. So it's an array. We got a date. Post date. We got a content. Yeah. Value, result, or okay. Then value, and we try to get the maps from the result. And in this case, for label at least, we should get title raw, right? Title raw, label, title raw. Server, let's see, label, maps to, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I was a victim of my own premature optimizations. So we don't want to do this. Unless, yeah, we don't want to do this. Unless there were mappings already. So, column name. Yeah, let's do a check up here. Column, if column maps to or column maps to JSON, we want to continue. We don't want to go down here. Okay? Okay. So I'll have to migrate again. Okay, let's check. Okay, so now we have title raw, and yeah, we have the right values. What I'll do is that I think I'll default to the values that come from the API. So instead of having to strip the post values, I can add them when I need them. Because at the moment, it's not how it works, and we are working strictly with the API at this point in time. So content, this is actually going to be content.raw, most likely. And this, yeah, let's not do content or Xert. Let's not do this. Let's ask people to do things deliberately. Let's not assume anything other than the, yeah, we actually don't need this either. Right? So now if we run this again, we should see something closer to the results that we were expecting. Let's see. Yeah. So we now we were able to get the label. We were able to get the dates correctly, and the only thing we're missing is the IP address. So it's the JSON part here. We have the JSON value here, which looks fine to me. I'm not sure why it is breaking. Processor 89. So here, and then we don't get back to here. Not found value. No, I don't have a value by this point. What we want to check is this. So I was being not too bright. Let's try again. Still, we don't have a value. Not found. But we do have. So there's something weird going on here. So JSON decoded values. Value. Do we get to this point here? I have to fix the debugger for the CLI because it really helps. Oh, I see what's going on. So the code, why is that happening? So raw JSON, decoded JSON. Raw JSON, where is that coming from? 180 results, decoded values. Okay, so now we are getting the proper JSON. The coding value is 94. Okay, yeah. So we are able to decode it. Here we don't want the name. We actually want the maps to JSON. Yep. And then we have our decoded JSON and we have our mapping key, which I think we have. Maps to key IP address. IP address. Decoded JSON. Not sure what's going on here. Let's do a dump here and see what we get. That's super weird. Should be working already. We got 102. It's no. We get no. But here we have the right value. So array gets. We have the decoded JSON. The only possible place to have a problem is with the key. Let's see. The key is IP address. And the value, it has a key IP address. This is not an array. This is not an array. That's the problem. This is not an array. So I need to force it to be an array. Okay, yeah. Yeah, at least we found it. Now it should all work. Let's see. And it does. We have our IP address. So now if we stop dumping the contents, let's go back. If we and we don't do any DDs, we should be able to see the values here, reflected here in the command. It didn't work at all. We actually lost a bunch of stuff that we used to have. Uh, okay, yeah. Why would that happen? Why would that happen? Maybe I do need to enter here as a reference. It really doesn't make sense to me, but yeah, I guess. Um, yep. I'm not sure why we are not seeing the results that we wanted to see. And here we have a collection. Okay, yeah. So we are returning a collection when in reality we need to return a array to array. Let's try again. Maybe it will work this time. Yep. So we have a label and the IP address, and we're missing the other fields, but we can get that to a working state now because the only thing we need to do is to map them. So we want to get the status. It's a string called status. We don't actually need to map it to anything, and we can put it here. Then we want the provider, which is a string field called provider. It maps to a JSON, and the key is provider. Maybe we can we don't need to pass key. If we don't have a key, we can use the name automatically, let's say. So here, if we don't have a key, we can pass the mapping name. And then if we don't have that, we pass the empty value. That way, we can get rid of this here. Although it becomes a bit ambiguous, ambiguous. Because what happens if I want to, maybe I can try to cast it. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because that would be handled by the model directly. Yeah, so this works. So we want the provider, and we also want the external ID. And the external ID occupies a string. Yeah, I'm sorry about the dog, guys. Yeah, so let's run again. It won't work because I need to migrate. Yeah, let me tell my dog that he needs to calm down. Once more and check the results. Yeah, we're almost done. We have status, we have a label, we have provider, we have external ID, we have everything we need. If we run it again, it should be, yay, it works. It works. Great. Yep. So we got that to back to a working state, and that's great because now we can read all of the servers using the notation that we using Laravel models to do that. And that was really the goal of this session. Thanks for sticking around. It took 3 hours, but yeah. Let's commit these changes pretty quickly here. We do have quite some changes. Yeah, we need this. We need the processor changes. I'll make this a bit prettier in the future. Yeah. No. Yeah. We do need the migration. Yep. And the posts we might get rid of. And we want to add the servers. Yeah, looks good to me. Let's do a git commit. Fix add processor to handle the blueprint field mapping. One of the key features of Wire is to make the very robust WordPress post custom post type infrastructure available as a Laravel eloquent connection driver. For all intents and purposes, this pretty much means that Wire allows us to use WordPress as a database, much like one would use the default, the more common MySQL, or Postgre connection drivers. Doing things this way gives us a series of advantages such as we can integrate with Laravel in a more plug and play fashion. We can accept WordPress all together in the future. If we need to, with the only requirement being changing the connection for a given model and running the migrations. We are able to support existing Laravel libraries and packages that rely on Eloquent without need to to create a ton of extra database tables. On the WordPress side of things, we have different advantages. These can be used as the basis for type registration. Registration site, the type module. We are able to switch the transport layer depending on the environment, which makes it trivial to expose a single API for managing local sub-sites and remote subsites. Yep, that looks good. Save it, close it, and send it. Okay, guys, so going back to our drawing real quickly here. So we were able to get the wire back to a working state, which is good. And as a result, we are able to run our server command again. And the cool thing about that is that that server command it's using the remote transport. So I can run it from the network and the client side, and the results should be the same. I'll try that real quickly. So here we are inside the network, the main network. But if we go to external WP, we are inside the single site install. If we do WP here, we should have the auto command, and we do. So as I mentioned on the commit message, if we do Aurora, WP Aurora server list here, we see the same thing. And that's not how it should work, because the external site doesn't have access to the main network site. So this is what I mean. Like, we are creating a layer that allows every single site connected to the network. Doesn't matter the type. So it doesn't matter if it's a local subsite or an external subsite that is connected. They are able to communicate to the same databases, to the same global post types, to the same user tables, and we are able to control when we're pulling info from the central repository, which is the network, or we are keeping things local to the single install. So this gives us a lot of flexibility, and this is something that I'll probably release as a standalone package, open source package, to allow people to use Laravel to build applications that talk with WordPress, to use WordPress as a backend, pretty much, which is what we're doing. But yeah, so thanks for sticking around. I'll grab something to eat and get back to do some more coding in the afternoon, although I don't think I'll live stream that. Yeah, see you guys around. Bye.